Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about an experience I had. And anyone who's had this experience will understand. Those of you who haven't won't. But I hope you do have one. Um, I was blessed to be able to go and see the Dalai Lama speak at my alumni, Nova Southeastern University in South Florida. And I had seen him, I had been to one of his talks probably about 6 or 7 years ago. And at the time, it was great, but I wasn't at a point in my life. I had just started to look into Buddhism, so it didn't impact me the way I thought it would at that time. So this time when I went, his presence just blew me away. When that man walked in the room and walked up on stage, you could just feel the love in the room. Not just the love of the people for him, but of his love for the people. It was phenomenal. And, whenever you go to something like this, you always take away something. Some people take away a lot. Some people just take away one thing that they could be better at, or one thing they need to learn about themselves. And through his talk, he hit on a nerve, of course, for me, and that is self-discipline. And not that I'm not a disciplined person, not that, I don't get up and, take a shower and get myself ready for work and, do those things I'm supposed to do, but self-disciplined in opening up my heart, self-disciplined in maintaining a way of life that is true to me. And we all struggle with that sometimes. When I stopped eating meat, it was very difficult to be around people who did. I had to learn that. I had to learn compassion for them, for their ignorance, for not knowing what I know. And maybe they think I'm ignorant and I don't know what they know. I highly doubt it, but you have to go through things like that. You have to teach yourself discipline in the fact that you don't slack because you're with other people. You don't slack because, well, this restaurant only has this kind of food. When you are self-disciplined and you truly believe in who you are and what you are, you speak up and you teach others just by being yourself. And I think that's a big part of self-discipline that most people don't get. They think it's very black and white. You're either undisciplined or you're so disciplined that, you're just, Hitler. But with everything, you're supposed to take the middle ground. And most of us don't. And it's hard to take the middle ground, especially with self-discipline. It's really hard to pull yourself in and find that balance. And so another way of looking at self-discipline is the discipline you put on yourself in your daily life to be who you want to be. And sometimes you have to take a really good look at yourself. You really have to step back and look at yourself separate from you. Look at that person. Look at you as a person. And what is that person doing? Do you like that person? Do you like what that person is doing? Do you like how that person talks to people? Do you like how that person radiates? One of the things that blew me away was the feeling of the love in that room. And that his self-discipline of himself is what brought that. And I kept feeling like, not to put a damper on him, but anyone can do that. And that's what Buddhism teaches. Anyone can be a bodhisattva, because that's what the Dalai Lama is. He's the bodhisattva of compassion. And that's what he teaches. Anyone can be like this. Anyone. And really that was the best thing I could have taken away from my experience there. And it really, really changed me in the last 2 days to find my own self-discipline, to be proud of who I am. And I know some of my friends and family are go, but you're always proud of who you are. But I have doubts. I'm human. We all have doubts. And, sometimes I slack. Sometimes I think, it's just so hard. It's so hard to go against the grain. But then when I look at the grain is ignorance. And I don't want to be in the flow of ignorance. I want to be in the flow of happiness, of compassion, of bliss. That's what life is about. Life is about being happy. But life is also about being true to yourself. Who are you? What are you? And really, yesterday, I took a long, hard look at myself. Who am I? Who do I want to be remembered for? When I get to the end of my life and I look back, as I cross over, did I do everything I could have? Am I happy with what I did? Am I happy with who I became? Did I help people become better people in the process? And yesterday, it was kind of iffy. I know in some ways I do, but again, like I said, I'm human, and in other ways, I think I'm not. Especially things that I think are very personal and important to me, like being a vegan. I think that's so important, not to be, to be like an activist. I'm not an activist. Maybe I'm a closet environmentalist. I don't know. But just to be true. Just to kind of look at the world in a bigger picture and live my life accordingly. Whether people judge me or not. Whether people question me or not. Whether people think I'm crazy or not. And the most amazing thing is, if I didn't live in America, I probably wouldn't be judged so much. I think this country we live in is very ignorant. And not that we haven't been taught to be, because truly we have been. But I think we're such strong people that we could become better people, that we could take away that ignorance, and we could step up to the plate and say, hey, this is my life, this is my family's life. What about my children? What about my grandchild that was just born? If I don't do something now and instill values that are important for the world now, not when I was born, but now, there's going to be no world for that child to exist in. We want a world for those children to exist in. We want children for ourselves to exist in. So he really gave me so much to think about and so much to look at myself. And that's where he pointed. He pointed like the teachings of your inner values. What are they? Not the values you're taught by your parents, not the values you're taught by your religion or your schools. What's in here? What's in your heart? What are your values? What do you believe in? Take away that facade, take away that ego, and sit with yourself for a little while and say, who am I? What do I want to be remembered for? And it can be as simple as being a fabulous mother, being a fabulous grandmother. But how are you going to be so fabulous? What are you going to do that makes you so fabulous? Because it all comes from inside. Not from the outside, not from the things you give your children, not from the things you do with them. It's who you are, who they see you being. That helps them be better people as well. So I hope all of you get the chance to meet the Dalai Lama, because it is an incredible experience. And if not, just give yourself a minute. Look inside. Who are you? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to be remembered for? Ciao.